The thing is, trans people, they just want to live, and he pissed off a lot of people, even women with his stance on abortion and many other things. So I wouldn't say it's just because of trans people that he was killed. That's ludicrous.
If someone says extremely hurtful things and they get murdered, it is at least partially their fault. Move. Trans ideology is largely responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. Move.
How are we going to do that then?
Do you feel comfortable steel manning the other position?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us why trans ideology, why would someone who's standing there who believes it, trans ideology is largely responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. Tell them why it's not.
I find it extremely disturbing that you think being trans is an ideology to begin with. There is no such thing as trans ideology. This is just who we are. We are just trying to, live and be in society like everyone else. So it's not anyone's fault, that it was just a crazy killer that killed him. And being trans is not an ideology.
Do you want to comment on that?
Well argued. I see your point. Even if you, though, accept that trans is innate, the language around what happens if anybody questions whether medicalizing, for instance, is a good idea, the language that activists have used, that to question that means you're basically wanting to kill all trans people, I think that was very much a part of why Kirk was assassinated, because it was like to save trans people from being genocided.
And Trans Day of Vengeance.
And the whole, protect trans kids with a bloody knife, I think is the image. And so whether or not you believe it's an innate state, transness, still the rhetoric around it has been, I think, encouraging people and iatrogenically kind of creating personality disorder thinking of the world is against us.
You want to comment on that, sir?
Yeah, the thing is, trans people, they just want to live. And he pissed off a lot of people, even women with his, stance on abortion and many other things. So I wouldn't say it's just because of trans people that he was killed. That's ludicrous.
Okay, new claim. Saying trans women are not women is extremely hurtful to some people. Move. You absolutely disagree. So what do you say about the testimony of people who are sobbing?
Well, I'll split hairs. I think people are extremely hurt by it, but I don't think saying that is a hurtful thing. I think it's actually a loving thing to say, be who you are, whether that's same-sex attracted or whatever is behind it, but to question it shouldn't be hurtful. So, but I know that people are hurt by it, but I also think, like I had said earlier, it's kind and loving to support someone in being more comfortable with who they are and not having to medically alter their bodies in ways that are harmful in the long term.
If someone says extremely hurtful things and they get murdered, it is at least partially their fault. Move. If somebody says extremely hurtful things and other people encourage the murder of that person should stop saying extremely hurtful things. Move. If someone says extremely hurtful things and they are punched in the head, it is at least partially their fault. Move. We should have laws prohibiting people from saying extremely hurtful things. Move. We should have laws prohibiting people from saying extremely hurtful racial things. Move. We should have laws against flag burning. Move. Say again?
As long as it's your flag.
Like if I'm an American, if I want to burn a flag and then commit social justice on it. That's my right. No laws about that.
If you purchase the flag, sure.
Oh, it's your flag, like if you buy the flag, as opposed to,
I thought
oh
you
yeah.
meant your country
Yeah, that's what I
flag.
thought he meant too. Okay. Charlie Kirk's rhetoric partially explains his murder. Charlie Kirk's rhetoric partially explains his murder. Move. Okay, tell her why you're there.
Because it does explain why some people who maybe do not have the possibility of arguing their case, that they resort to violence. So when people can't have a debate, that very often turns into violent acts. So I think people found it very difficult the way Charlie Kirk was speaking, because he was very compassionate in his speeches and how he saw people. And how are you going to combat that when you completely disagree? But he, I don't know.
Yep.
I'm not articulating it.
No, I got you.
I would want to be more specific and maybe even hear together the rhetoric that we're talking about. And there's a possibility that I would agree with it if it were completely separate from condoning the violence against him. And maybe some of his rhetoric did sort of unfortunately adhere to some of the trans activist rhetoric of to be in a category or group that he didn't agree with meant that he wanted to kill them. And so then killing him was prompted by that sort of vigilante justice. So there's a difference between maybe some of the rhetoric explains how trans activists could use his words to sort of fuel more discontent and protest.
Trans activists are more likely to be violent than those who are gender critical. Move. The people who currently have the power, and I'm talking about it in the United States context, the people who currently have the power side/align with trans activists. Move. You can interpret power any way you want. Institutional power, academic power, political power.
So it has to be.
The people who currently have academic power side with trans activists. Move. You're on agree? Is that the mat you want to be on?
Yes, it is.
Why?
Because I think the academics are split. So I don't think the academia is in complete aligned with trans activists, but it mostly is, but not entirely. So that's why I'm on agree.
The people who currently have political power at the federal level are gender critical. Move. The judiciary is largely gender critical. Move. Why do you disagree with them?
Well, I guess my thing is which judiciary? If we're referring to the Supreme Court, so far it seems that they are more critical. If we're talking about every court, then I don't know, that becomes...
Yeah, so we should have broken that down. I was thinking the Ninth Circuit, but appeals courts, federal courts.
yeah.
So we should have broken that down. Okay, why are you on slightly disagree?
Because I think I'm here because I'm thinking about the whole judiciary, and depending on which level of the judiciary you are, it sways more between gender critical and affirming.
If I could wave a magic wand and the whole concept of trans would be completely eliminated from the world, I would do it. Move. I would be willing to take a bullet in the head for my beliefs about trans. Move. Not that you want to, you'd be willing to, this issue is so important to you, you'd be willing to take a bullet in the head for it. Really, absolutely agree. Tell me why you absolutely agree that you'd be willing to take a bullet in the head for it.
I'd be willing to take a bullet in the head for all of my beliefs, not just this. Every single one. My previous life, I was an IT guy. I didn't have to do any other stuff. And I chose to, knowing that there's a risk, including, unfortunately, a situation like Charlie Kirk being assassinated. So I say everything that I believe, knowing that there could be repercussions for it, but it's far more worth it for me to do it as a display for my son, to not be scared of these people, to stand up and say the thing he actually believes. So yes, if I die, I'll go to heaven, see Jesus, and that's what it is, but it won't be in vain.
I agree. Yeah, the same. And also, I would be willing to take a bullet in the head rather than living my life and not be true to myself and what I believe.
So I actually had this tested out because I'll truncate the story. I invited someone to my home and I had the slight suspicion, and it was to talk about gender ideology, and I had the slight suspicion that maybe they were on the other side, and I actively said to myself, if they show up at my front door and kill me, it will have been worth it. But the reason I'm not absolutely agree is that then I wouldn't be able to keep fighting this. So if you said, would you take a bullet in the head and then it would all disappear and no one would be hurt by this anymore, then I might actually be on that carpet. So, but I want to keep fighting it. So to be strategic and try to stay alive to get kids out of this, that's why I'm only on slightly agree.
You ask her anything you want.
Yeah, so if someone would threaten to shoot you in the head often enough, would that be enough to remove you from the conversation?
No, I mean, I say that because it's not happening and I don't know. Like, if it were really happening, would I chicken out? But I'd like to think that wouldn't change my mind and I would keep trying to fight.
Well, then I think you should be here.
Yes? No?
I understand that. I still want to keep fighting, though, and so live long enough to do that. And also, I have 2 children, and to leave them, even if it were for such a strong cause that I believe in, that's just a really hard concept.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, man. Thank you. That was an awesome answer. Thank you. Hey, did you know only half of you watching are subscribed? If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button to keep the videos coming. Thanks.